Hey folks, welcome to another advisory. Happy Friday. We made it. Today we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and so I really need your attention. I mean, really need it. I know that sometimes I'm boring or we're going over a boring topic, but this one I really need you to focus, and so I'm going to figure out how to get the youth's attention. How to get the attention of the youth. Kinetic sand. What is a subway surfer? I mean, okay, the internet's never been wrong before. Let's try it out. What about this? Is this good? Will this help you listen? Is this good? It's not enough? Okay, what about one more? Oh yeah, that's very satisfying. That looks good. I like the sand. I can see why you might enjoy this. But it's still not enough. I really want to make sure I have your attention completely. Perfect. All right, let's start the advisory lesson about multitasking. Do you think it's possible for humans to multitask?
Yes, I think it is possible for humans to multitask because, for example, like there's my mom. Like, she could be like cooking something, like some food, but at the same time she's taking care of my sister. So
Moms can do it all.
Yeah.
They can do it all.
it's an example of like people can multitask. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Awesome. Perfect.
Honestly, I think if you try to multitask, then you're gonna do what you're trying to do at like a worse quality than what you would have done if you would have did them separately.
To some degree, but mostly not. I say you can minimalize multitasking as much as you can. You should.
Yeah.
Try to do, if you do like absolutely need to multitask, try to do the least amount and just try to like go one by one.
What do you think?
No.
Yeah.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much sleep you had, maybe.
Ooh, it does depend on how much
My
sleep you
teachers
have.
be like, oh, yeah, you should do it and do this. And my teacher's like, no, it's bad for your mental health. I'm like, oh, okay.
You just like both answers at the same
I don't know.
time.
And it kind of sucks to like I'm making coffee and then I'm putting a toaster and I put the coffee in the toaster. And
It's all happen. What happens if you put the coffee in the toaster and
it
the
explodes
whole
and, like, the house.
then the whole house burns down? It's
And
just a
I pay
problem.
insurance.
It's possible. I believe most of the time not, since even though your body can do different things, your mind can only focus on one.
Ooh, your body can do different things, but your mind can only focus on one.
Yeah.
That's a very good.
Yeah. You gonna say yes.
Yes.
I play the game and talk on the phone
At the same time.
at the same time.
That's not P at all. That's not P. That's not P.
Yeah, I multitask. I listen to the conversation. I be engaged while I'm playing the game.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, don't say who you're on the phone with, though.
I guess riding a bike and texting at the same time.
Riding a bike and texting at the same time with like one hand on the handlebars.
Yeah, one hand on the handlebars.
That's so dangerous, is it
But
not?
it's doable.
It's doable, I guess so.
I work, so like sometimes I'll be taking orders and like I push a button, but then sometimes people that need help with the ice creams and stuff and making drinks, so I have to do all that too.
Oh heck yeah! Where at?
I work at Sonic.
Oh yeah, lots of multitasking.
So at my
Okay.
job.
Do you think it's possible for human beings to multitask?
Ooh, this is a great question. So, am I speaking for humans or am I speaking for myself?
Do both.
All right. Well, regarding humans, I think that you're probably going to need some real intensive skills
Yes.
when you think about concentrating and multitasking. And that's something that I know I'm not capable of doing. And I think it's a learned, trained skill. As for myself, yeah, no can do. I'm a one-person type of multitasker.
There's a single tasker.
Yes,
We're a
single tasker.
tasker.
There you go.
That's it. Same here.
You got it, Hall.
Good job.
It really depends on the type of person you are. Like me, for example, I'm dyslexic. Say I'm reading a book and listening to music. Like that's something I can't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it really depends on the person. You know what I mean? Their skills with that. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful answer.
I think it's possible.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, personally, I do it like I think every day. Like for example, let's say in my class, I have like work due.
Yeah.
I'll be doing like, let's say for English, I'll be doing like my English homework and my math homework at the same time. I think that's multitasking.
Wow, at the same math and English at the same time.
I've
That's
done it.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Of course it is. I think that's the nature of our being. I know some people like to do one thing at one time, but it's totally impossible sometimes with your mind because you cannot be involved in something, but then at the same time you're thinking about something else.
Yes.
And it's a trait that we sometimes try to brush away, but the more we can master it, it is the better for us to engage in that kind of activity. Because in times of crisis, you have to think fast and you have to be thinking about more than one thing as you go through most of our lives.
Yes. Very easy, you say. How is it? What is an example of you multitasking in a day-to-day?
Different works for different classes.
Yeah. Doing them all at once. Good.
Yeah.
What about you? What does it look like to multitask?
On the phone and doing work at the same time.
On the phone and doing work at the same time. Nice. And you can like keep concentration on both pretty well to get it done. Impressive. Question is, do you think it's possible for human beings to multitask? And you guys are the office helpers, so you might have a good insight on this.
Of course.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Differing opinions.
Yeah,
Interesting.
absolutely.
Why do you say yes?
I just feel like you can kill two birds with one stone.
There
You rarely kill two birds with one stone. It's gonna go through one everywhere.
See, he's not accurate like me.
Okay.
Multitasking is switching from one task to the other super fast.
You must be in a psychology class.
I was.
You were, and you remembered. That's so nice. Do you think people can do that, or it's most efficient to do that, or not?
Focus on one thing really fast, knock it out, then do the next.
There you go. From the office boys themselves. Thank you. All right, so we had quite a few answers. Thank you so much for answering my question. When you see me in the hall, if I have my microphone with me, I usually have a question to ask, and so if you want to be on an advisory video, you can. Y en español también. No habla mucho español, pero sé usar el traductor de Google. So a lot of varying answers, and it all depends on your personal experience, but I want to go to the science as well. And if you were to ask a scientist, like a psychologist or psychiatrist, they would probably tell you something along the lines of, not really. And it all has to do with our definition of multitasking. What we think multitasking is doing multiple tasks at the same time. But what it actually is quickly switching between multiple tasks. And if you really think about it, that makes sense, right? We've only got one pair of eyes, 2 hands maximum. So even though we might be able to go quickly between focusing on one thing to another, we can't actually do multiple things at the same time. Another reason I know this is because I was looking up an image to use for multitasking, and every single one was a person with multiple arms. Look at this. He's multitasking. She's multitasking. Do these people look happy to you? Look at this. Look at this. You think this man is happy? Do you think this man is happy? No. This man is burdened. This is not what we want to be. This is not what we can do. These pictures now haunt my nightmares. I hope you all are happy. I mean, it's physically impossible, as these pictures illustrate, to do multiple things at the same time. Look at this one. Look deeply into her eyes. She's staring directly into your soul. Does this look like somebody who's having a good time? No. Let me illustrate my point with something that might sound familiar to you. Say, for instance, you are at home and you have some work to do for school, and so you get it out of your backpack, you find a quiet place to work, you start doing your homework like a good student. But very quickly you realize this homework is kind of boring, it's kind of taking a long time. I wonder if there's something that I can do to spice up the homework session. And so you plug in your headphones and you start listening to music, right? Maybe you take a minute to look for a playlist. Maybe you're trying to figure out what music really fits your personal homework vibe. And that takes like a few minutes, but then you got a playlist going and then you're working. But you're working and you're also listening to music, right? Then all of a sudden your best friend calls you on FaceTime and they have to spill the tea, as the kids say. And so now you have homework going on. You're halfway listening to music, but then now there's tea being spilled. But then, oh wait, you forgot that you had plans to play some video games with your friends, all right? And so now you pull up the Xbox, you've got that screen, you got the music going, you got the tea being spilled, you got the Call of Duty happening, you got the homework trying to happen. And while all of this is going on at once, you're thinking, yes, I am multitasking. I can get so many things done all at the same time, right? This is what we think is happening, that our brain is so advanced and so cool that we can do all of these things all at once. But what's really happening is that your brain is quickly switching. So if you're looking at someone and you're paying attention to the conversation, then you're doing that. But then as the conversation lulls, you focus a little bit more on the homework problems that you're doing. And then after you get bored with that or you finish a problem, you switch back over, oh, this is a good song. I love these lyrics. And you're listening to the song. And then, oops, it's time to play. And so your attention gets taken to the Call of Duty screen. And when all of this is happening, your brain is focusing only on that one thing. You may have all of this on at the same time, but inside your brain is only looking at one thing at a time. So because we are not actually doing all of these things at the same time, we actually have to switch between each individual one. Research tells us that there are something called the switch cost, basically the cost of going back and forth between multiple tasks. And that is that tasks take longer overall. Basically, the time that it takes to switch from one thing to another adds up over a long period of time, and you actually end up getting things done more slowly. More errors are made. This is especially evident if you find yourself trying to do homework while you're doing all of these other things. Sometimes it can take your attention away for just long enough to make a mistake. And because of all this switching back and forth, our brains actually get tired more quickly, which ultimately doesn't let us do as much as we want. And if you still don't believe me, you're sitting there thinking, oh man, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall, you don't know me like that. I can do a million things at once. Just watch me.
Okay, well, how about you watch this?
How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Did you see the bear the first time? Be honest. This is just the point that I'm making, that when you're focused really intently on one task, it's very difficult to do anything else. But I understand that sometimes it feels like multitasking is the only way that we're going to get anything done. And so if you are going to try to multitask, here are some things to consider. First, try to limit the amount of tasks or distractions that you have going on when you're trying to get something done. And yes, this does mean having things on in the background while you're trying to work on something important for school. Some people can have something on like that in the background. I can't, and really, I think if you're honest with yourself, you might know that it kind of is distracting. Number 2 is keep an external to-do list. Just means outside of your brain. Having a written to-do list helps you visualize exactly what you have left to do, and it can help you do the next point, which is to focus on the tasks with the highest priority. Put the ones that are the most important at the top of your list and get those done first. I remember when I was in college, I would often try to avoid doing big projects or writing long essays by cleaning my room. Now, if something fun was going on, I would never stop and clean my room. But all of a sudden, it was really funny. Whenever I had big, long assignments to do, no, I need to clean my room first. I really got to get this done now. That wasn't true. I was just trying to distract myself. I didn't have my priorities in line. 4 is take these switch costs into account. If you're going to try to do multiple things at a time, just know that it's going to add up a little bit of time going back and forth between those things. And if that's okay with you, if you have more time to do that, then that's fine. But just think about those things. If it's something that you really don't want to make a mistake on, then it might be good to take away some of those other tasks that you're trying to do. And finally, number 5 is be honest with yourself. All right. Maybe you might be sitting there thinking that, I can watch
all sorts of things while I work. I love watching Wednesday. Wednesday is my favorite show, and it helps me do my algebra.
That may be true and it may not be true. Just be honest with yourself. If you find that you are getting more distracted by the TV or by the other thing that you're trying to do at the same time, then just take a minute, take away that other distraction, and focus on the most important task. And that's all I have to say about multitasking. There's a discussion on the next slide for you guys to have with your advisory class. Have a great weekend, be good to yourself and others, and I'll see you on Monday.